family where I was a PK kid. So my dad was the pastor, and, it kind of that clergy family, how I grew up. And they had businesses as well. So I was kind of raised in a home with parents who had businesses. So I kind of tried at different businesses growing up. So I think I may have gave up on my desire for business along the way. I had gotten into a marriage at a very, very young age, kind of like I was barely through college, and kind of got on a wrong path for a while. And I was married to my husband now. God is a God of second chances, pregnant with my now 7-year-old, sitting at my desk. I had went to the top of my career very quickly as a young adult. And I think I just one day had an epiphany. I just looked around in my office at the four walls and realized that, yeah, the desire is still here for me to be an entrepreneur. If I want to hold this baby and I want to see her first steps and I want to see her grow, I got to do something to get out of here and quick. So I think that that's how it really started. It just fired me back up. I was reminded of all the things that I wanted to do and all the dreams that I had put on hold. And I really started going hard for owning my own business around that time.
Wow. And let me tell you, I'm grateful for your yes that day. Okay. Thank you for your yes. So let me ask you, how do we clear our mind and close all the tabs in our head?
Okay, so I can share with you ladies how I do it. I can say that I understand that many of you may have children, you may be multitasking, you may have a husband, you may have a whole household to run. Some of you may have jobs, some of you may have businesses. So I can relate. I'm a mom of 3. I have a 5-year-old, 7-year-old, and a 17-year-old, as well as a husband and a family, and I run a full-time business. So closing all the tabs in your head and resetting and making time for you is 100% necessary. And it is literally, honestly, a discipline where I've had to learn to discipline myself. I've had to learn to tell my own self no. And I've had to learn to shut it down. You do not have to sacrifice the people that you love to have success. You can still raise an amazing family. You can still put your family first and also care for yourself and run an amazing, successful business. And I've had to learn that, being up all night and grinding hard and having bags around my eyes and my children always wanting my time and me always turning them away was not the way to run a kingdom business. So I've had to learn to discipline myself, shut it down at a certain time. I close all the tabs in my head by just saying no to wanting to overwork. One thing that helps me a lot is I get into certain routines. So I have a night routine where, I may meditate for a few moments before I go to sleep. I have certain music that I listen to before I go to sleep to kind of wind me down. And then in the morning, I pretty much probably 99% of the time start my mornings a certain way. So I will get up, as soon as I open my eyes, I try not to jump right on my phone because that's what opens all the tabs in your head. So I try to wait to do that. I will plug my ears in and start with my meditation music. I will start with some gratefulness and some prayer time. From there, I come downstairs, I get my exercise on, get my coffee going. So I just kind of slowly kind of get into my day. And I do a lot of journaling. So a lot of us women, we love journals, but we don't use them. We don't use them like we should. And what I want to say is start where you are with journaling. I know a lot of people have problems finding time, but it is so important to close those tabs in your head, even if you have to use part-time the notepad in your phone to just see where you are, see how you're feeling, locate yourself, cast all your cares right there in that journal and in that prayer time and leave it there. So that's a little bit of what I do to wind down and close those tabs in my head.
Those are really great tips. I don't know if y'all caught that, but you said something very powerful. I don't know if anybody caught it, but she said kingdom business, right? Because we're giving all the glory and all the honor back to who? The King, God. And I like what you said, great advice about journaling, because I think sometimes we just try to keep everything in our head and we're going crazy. We got to write it out, get those thoughts out of our head, get it onto paper, because sometimes we think, oh, we can manage it all. We got this. No, we don't have it. We don't. So we need to write it out. We need to pray about it. One thing that I do is I journal, but I almost journal my prayers. So I start my journals with "Dear God."
Mm-hmm.
Not just tell him what was on my mind, just me and him talking. But I think that's really great advice. So how do you get over the fear of starting a business? Because I'm sure fear is one of the number one reasons why people don't start businesses.
I think one tip that I can give for getting over fear is to find out what motivates you, because that's going to be different for every person. Like, so for one of you ladies, one thing that might motivate you is not being able to leave a legacy for your children. For another person, they may not have children. Maybe they don't see themselves working for somewhere else, for someone else for the rest of their life. Or maybe they see themselves traveling the world and experiencing more of life without having to be at their desk every day, all day. So different things motivate different people. So for me, the pain of regret is what motivates me. So for me, I don't want to grow older, or better, I should say, and look back on my life and say, wow, what did you do with your talents and your gifts? And that God gave you a purpose and you didn't speak and you didn't go out there and reach people and you didn't help people. And that you had all of these things that you needed to do, but you kind of swept it under the rug and you didn't do anything with those things. I realized that if I get to that point in my journey and I look back on my life and I'm regretful, that's the only person I'm going to be able to blame is me. I'm not going to be able to say it was my mama, my kids, my husband, my friends. I'm not going to be able to say it was anyone else that got in my way, because only we can really truly get in our own way. So that's what motivates me, because when I look back on my life, I want to be smiling. I want to be dancing. I want to be rejoicing. I don't want to be looking back in regret. So I think that finding what motivates you, finding the reason why, success is a must for you, is what's really, really, really going to push you out of that place of fear and into action. That's what's done it for me. Another thing that's done it for me as well is I grew up in a really, really good home with a really, really good support system. So I always had my mom, my dad, my brother, very close-knit family. Okay. And, even just a few years ago, I had my mom, my dad, my brother, my close-knit family. And my dad died a very untimely death. And it was just really, really unexpected. And that was really, honestly, the first time of losing someone who really was that close to me, really that close to my heart, and especially unexpected. I mean, just a year before my dad passed, we were at Disney World as a family with our kids and walking around fine, So for me, that situation really fired me up. And I wrote a book called From Pain to Power. Right after my father passed, I wrote my book. So what I was doing, ladies, was I had all these gifts and talents, but because my life was, I felt like, woven so perfectly. And I had my support system and I had everything I needed, and everything that I did was optional. I had this husband that was, at the top of his career, and we weren't wanting for anything. And I didn't really need, what did I really need? I had my family, I had my kids, I had all these things. So I didn't feel like, I knew I needed to write this book, and I knew I needed to speak out, and I knew I needed to hire this coach, and I knew I needed to step out in faith into my business. I'm talking about, and be serious about my business, not and stop playing. I knew I needed to do all those things, but I just thought I had time. So when I saw what happened to my dad, and it was so unexpected, it literally ripped my heart out and ripped my support system from under me. And instead of me crying and being sad, I took that and I allowed it to fire me up. I started from that day on, oh no, I'm not holding back anymore. I'm saying whatever I need to say. I'm writing all the books I need to. I'm just going to allow God to move through me. I'm going to face my fears. Like I'm getting on the Zoom talk tonight. There's always that fear. Oh my God, all these ladies I've never seen before. You would think I wouldn't have fear, right? However, I do. But you got to be able to feel that fear and do it anyway. And I think that those are the things in my life that have really pushed me forward.
Woo. Yes, I love that. So, ladies, did you hear what she said? Focus on what motivates you. Because as we all know, God has placed something inside of each one of you guys. And I understand that everyone is not supposed to be an entrepreneur, but even if you're working at a company, be the best employee you can. Go all the way to the top. But if you're meant to be an entrepreneur, if you find yourself in companies and you're just like, find yourself not being complacent, not liking this or not liking that, that's God. God is not going to let you get comfortable. He's going to let you get comfortable for a little bit, but he's going to push you. He's going to keep pushing you. He's going to keep sending tests your way because that's not where you're meant to be. He's going to continue to put people in your life to help you see your gifts. Because he's like, I put that in you. You think you're just going to sit there and not do anything with it? Keep playing. I got something for you. So I really appreciate that, those tips right there. So now that we're going through this pandemic, and we notice that a lot of things are moving online, and a lot of business can be online and actually be, successful online, especially with technology. So how do you build an online presence and be consistent?
I think that you have to make a commitment to yourself. You have to decide, set your goal, whatever that goal may be. So depending on what type of business you want to start, when you want to start, when's your date, what you want to do, who you want to reach, you want to write it down, whatever it is that you want to do. And with anything that you do that you want to grow, today I did a live stream, and I'm trying to think what the person asked me because this is so fitting for this question. This person asked me, how do you build? A few people kept asking me, so how do you build a buying base? How do you build in this industry? How do you build in that industry? And I want to ask you ladies tonight, when you think of the word build, what comes to mind? What words come to mind when you think about building something? So I asked the same question earlier, and people started writing in the comments, I think of foundation, I think of tools. I think of this, I think of commitment, I think of dedication, I think of this, I think of this. So when you ask yourself, how do you build anything? Ask yourself, what words and emotions come to mind when you think about building something? Anything that you want to build. For some of you, it could be your goal is just to build a family. Maybe you're happy in your job, but you really are looking for that mate because maybe you've had failed marriages in the past. You're looking for that right relationship. So you're looking to build that. Maybe you've been torn down and you're not looking for a relationship or you're not looking for a business, but you're looking for more self-love for yourself. You're looking for more peace for yourself. So you're looking to build that. For some of you, you're looking to build a better business, or maybe you have a business, but you want more income. So you're looking to build that. When you think of the word build, what do you think of? What do you think of? So what I think of commitment. If I know that I want to dedicate myself to a project, let's just say I'm building a house, I need to build the foundation. I need to be dedicated. I need to be consistent. I need to show up. Okay, these are all the things that I need to do to make sure that this project turns out right. Okay. So you want to think of all the emotions that come to mind when you think about building something, right? And when you start to make a list of those, you will see that those are the components that you need when it comes to building anything. So let me just start with myself. One of the mistakes that I made early on in starting my business was that I wasn't like real hungry. I was very selfish in building my business. I did it part-time. I showed up when I felt like it. And because the bills were covered here, I didn't feel like I needed to press myself. I wanted to deal with business when I was in the mood. When I wasn't in the mood, I didn't run my business. And I don't think I realized that business is service to mankind. It's not just a business. It's not just about money. It's not just about you and your family. It's about all the generations of upon generations that you're going to affect because you said yes to your purpose, because you said yes to your calling. And there is somebody out there, ladies, who needs to hear from you. We all do different things. We all do different things. I mean, my God, even the person who makes crafts, okay, to cheer somebody's day up. Even the person who makes flower arrangements has a ministry, okay? Even the person who, I don't know, is a nurse or a doctor or, whatever, the person who's a hairstylist, okay? You have a gift. And for wherever you are, wherever your capacity, where you're working in, okay, there is something that you could be saying and doing to those people that you have been planted around, that literally, if you hadn't spoken that word into their life, or you hadn't sown that seed into their life, they would have never took that next step that's going to change their entire legacy. That's purpose. That's when you start to change. I'm not pressed on doing this business. So I have to show up because success is my duty. Somebody's waiting on me to show up. Somebody doesn't have as many options as I do. Okay. Somebody is dependent on me to teach because they are dependent on this business. They just lost their job and they're dependent on this business to put food on the table. That's just how serious it is for somebody in their family. So while I'm sitting back, chillaxing, not worrying about spreading the word about the gifts and talents that God has given me and the information and the education that he's given me, okay, while I'm being selfish and I'm holding it in, somebody else is dying. Okay, so when you think about building, you think about being a leader, showing up, being consistent. And in all you do, you just got to keep showing up. You just got to keep showing up. And that's how you build an online presence. You commit to what it is that you're going to do, whether or not you're going to go live every week or like you're doing this Zoom talk. You're committed to this Zoom talk. That's why it's prospering. You're showing up. I'm sure that there are certain nights that you don't want to show up. You might be tired. You had a rough day. Maybe you've been up on a shift all night. I don't know, right? But you are consistent. This is how you build something. This is how you build something.
You know, you are speaking to the choir. Hello. Amen. 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 I tell you one thing. That's one thing I tell myself every day, that this is straight up self-talk. Marcia, this is not about you. Get over yourself. This is for all the people who are waiting for you to show up. Wait a minute. These people don't even know that they're waiting for you. But God has already set up that divine appointment for you to show up. And, you know, sometimes we just focus so much on things that God doesn't even care about. He don't care about the way you look, the way you talk. He don't care about that. He don't care about your education, your parents. If he told you to do it, you need to do it, because there are so many people waiting for us to show up. I always sit back and I look at certain points in my life when I'm like, I know somebody's supposed to show up at that time, but guess what? They were so stuck on themselves that they didn't show up to plant that seed, to water that seed, or to even harvest the seed that God had placed for them to do. So you are speaking, ladies. You have to show up. The time is now. You don't have to wait. You don't need to have the right education, the right experience, the right look, the right speech. If God has given it to you, he has already fully equipped you for the journey. So I want you to know that it's time. And we kind of talked about this a little bit last week. It's time for you to show up, because there's so many people waiting for you. Yes, in life, there's so many of us with the same gift. I'm not the only person that does a Zoom talk. You're not the only person that coaches, but God has placed certain people in your life that's going to come to you. So don't worry about who's doing this. Oh, with so many people already doing that. Who cares? Because God has placed people in your path that's attracted to you and only you. So let me ask you, how do you stand out in an oversaturated market?
You just took the answer out of my mouth. You just said it. Basically, ladies, it's just being you. It's being you, okay? You are the peanut butter and the jelly, okay? You put the flavor, you bring the flavor to that particular niche or industry that you're in, and that's how you stand out. Like you said, there are a million people out here with Zoom talks, but there is no Zoom talk like this one. Okay. There are a million coaches out there that can get you where you need to go, but there is no coach like me. And I've been called to serve a certain particular group of people. Okay. And I can't control exactly who I serve. I just need to be obedient and show up, and they will come, and they do come. Okay. So yeah, basically it's being authentically true to who you are. Okay. There's a certain way that you can do it that nobody else can do it like you do it, because there's no second you. There's no second you. There's only you. So you never have to worry about an oversaturated market when there's only one you. And I think that, ladies, we have a tendency to compare ourselves. We have a tendency to look to the right. We're all guilty of it from time to time again. A lot of the times that we become, what's the word I'm looking for? Discontent. I believe that's the word I'm looking for with our current situations, is because we tend to compare ourselves with the next person's situation. And we have to remind ourselves that we don't know truly what they have going on. When's the last time you logged into their bank account? When's the last time you were a fly on the wall and could really hear what was going on in that house, in that marriage, in that situation? Trust me when I say you don't want anybody else's problems but your own. Okay. So the comparison really, really, really sabotages us in so many ways. It makes us feel defeated. And so we have to run in our own lane and be grateful for our own gifts and talents that God has given us, and be us. Don't be afraid to be in your own skin and be authentically you, because that's the thing that's going to set you apart from everybody else in the market.
That is so true, especially in today's time with social media. A lot of people tend to look at other people and be like, oh, they look so good. Oh, they have this. Oh, they have that. Oh, I can never do that. Or, wow, look how many likes they have. Look how many comments they have. But, like you said, first of all, we don't know what they had to go through to get to where they are today. We don't know their story. We don't know the backstory. We don't know what mountains they had to climb, what giants they had to defeat, and the simple fact that a lot of that stuff, have you guys ever heard of Photoshop?
Yeah.
It's not all real. So be able to look at yourself in the mirror and be able to tell yourself that you're beautiful, that you are loved, because God created you. God created you in his image, right? He created you just the way you are, and he loves you regardless. He loves you regardless. And just know that he has a purpose for your life. And we all have to be able to look at our journey and be able to take our past, our battles, our storm, and allow that to propel us into our purpose, which involves us using our God-given gifts. So everybody's platform is different. Everybody's purpose is different, but everyone has a platform and everyone has a story, and your story has purpose. And your story is not for you. Let's remember that. Your story is for God and his glory. And so we cannot be quiet no more. We have to live out loud. And that's the main reason why I started this Zoom talk. Because let me tell you guys, when God was talking to me and he was telling me that I was meant to speak, I'm like Moses. I'm like, you want me to speak? Like, I can't even speak English and I'm American, and you want me to speak? People are not gonna, I sound like a little girl. I didn't love myself. I hated my freckles. I didn't think I was worthy of anything because I'm a fatherless child. But then one day God knocked me out and he was like, look, you're my child. You always been my child. You will always be my child. I created you. I love you. I created you for a purpose, right? So you get up and do your thing. People don't care about how you look or how you sound. They're looking for that gift that's inside of you and only you. So you lean on that. Jesus didn't die on the cross for you to sit here to be crying and weeping and comparing. No, he didn't do that. Jesus has set us free from everything. And so I'm sorry, you know, I talk a lot sometimes, but, but does anyone have any questions for Coach D? Any business questions, marketing questions, any questions? You can, if you have a question, you can just take yourself off of mute and ask away. Any questions? Has anyone found this information to be helpful?
I did.
Yes, I did.
Great. Natasha, so do you have any takeaways?
I think the best thing that I got out of, well, one of the good things I got out of it is, you know, when starting your own business or trying to get your business going, is just always keeping in the forefront of your mind is like what your motivation is for doing this. Like, I know my motivation is my children and making sure I have something for them when I'm no longer here. But my thing is like, I always get the hiccup of the fear of stepping out to fully get out there to do my business, to run my business, or to get it off the ground and go where I want to go with it. So that's my issue. I'm always kind of like afraid to step outside of myself and be like, you got this. That's my issue that I have at this moment.
Okay, that's amazing. I mean, I understand, first of all, because it was me too. I understand. So to be transparent, just thinking back, around the time I mentioned to you ladies where I really, really geared up, I will say I'm on camera a lot for business because I coach a lot of people, and especially now I coach a lot of people online. So in order to build that trust, I have to show my face. I have to talk. And I was there where I felt like I didn't like the way I looked on camera. I felt awkward. And I still am a very vain person. I really am. But like I said, I had to really find what my why was. And you have a very powerful why, which is your kids. And I think that if you start there and you start to take little small actions towards your goals, so maybe instead of, because I think especially what's kind of typical for us women is we try to tackle the world in a day. And then when we can't, right, we really are hard on ourselves about it. Okay, so one of the things that you can do, one of the things that I do is instead of me trying to do 10 things, so for you, you want to kind of step out of your comfort zone and get into this business. So maybe you make a list of things that you know you need to do to get started.
Right.
So instead of you just keep looking at this long list of these 10 things and feeling overwhelmed and then feeling bad about yourself because you didn't do it, go into your next week with one thing on the list that you commit to yourself that you're going to get done, finished, just one thing. And you push yourself in that. And when you are done and you look back and you accomplish that one thing, celebrate that win, right? And then next week, you can take one thing on that list and get that next thing done. And I know that it might not feel like a lot, but there are two people in this world. You have people who take action, right? And it doesn't matter how small the action is, but they take action though. So at the end, so let's just say you took your whole year like that. So you have 12, how many weeks? How many weeks is it, ladies, in a year? Is it 36 weeks? How many weeks is it in a year? I can't think of it.
52.
52. I said 36. Jesus, take that wheel. That's terrible. Okay, 52 weeks. So imagine how much further you would be in your goals and in your business if you got 52 things done. 52 things done to move you closer to your goal in that business. You probably have a whole business. You probably would have made some sales by now, the whole nine. You would have left some people in the dust that were trying to do all the things in 1 week. and failing and fall on their face and then being mad at themselves about it later.
Right.
And so that is what has helped me. Ladies, some days my household is a little unpredictable. And if I can get 3 things done to get me on track with my profit goals, or to get me in front of some people, or to talk to some people today, I'm happy. And no, I can't move as fast as some other people. There are some people I feel like, and my friends laugh about it because they say that I'm a perfectionist and a overachiever and they can't catch up with me. But deep down inside, some days I feel so unaccomplished. Because I have so many ideas that I don't even get a chance to dust the surface on. Okay. But it's those little small actions that we take every single day that we actually get them done. Those are the ones that get us closer to where we need to go. So literally, if it's only one thing a week, and you actually commit yourself to just moving out of your comfort zone just a little bit to get that one thing done, celebrate your win, and then go into that next week. Next thing you know, you're going to look back and you're going to have a whole business. And it works.
Thank you. That's perfect.
You're welcome, beautiful.
She is beautiful. I love how you said celebrate your win. That is so important, because I know for most of us, it's hard for us to celebrate ourselves. We can celebrate everyone else but ourselves. And it's just not about celebrating your big wins. Celebrate your tiny wins, your little wins. Just celebrate. And because basically when you're celebrating, it's almost like being grateful at the same time. Mm-hmm. That's what God is looking for. So when you're in life and you're trying to do certain things, God is looking for certain things. He's looking to make sure that you're faithful, that you're obedient, and that you're grateful. Because he's not going to continue to move you to the next level if he sees that you're not grateful. He loves a grateful heart. And I think another thing, because scripture says, and I might be not quoting it all the way right, but write a vision and make it plain. Mm-hmm. Like, you have to write it out. And the thing is, it's almost like when you're talking about your why, put it somewhere that when you wake up, you see it. When you go to sleep, you see it, and you know what you're working towards. Because especially when you're starting this journey and throughout the journey, let me tell you something. It is not going to be easy at all. Okay. It's going to be so many things that's going to be like, stop, turn around. This is not for you. Mm-hmm. But it is for you. And you just got to continue to push forward. Maybe the direction that you're going in is the wrong direction, and God is trying to steer you a different way, but you're going to end up at the same destination. You just always got to be in constant communication with God, because at the end of the day, he's our God. He's our GPS. So it's talking to him and be like, okay, God, what's next? Okay, you close this door. And the thing is, we're famous for God closed the door. What are we trying to do? Open it back up? No, he closed that door for a reason. And then when he opens door, we have to have the discernment and the wisdom to not be afraid to walk through it. Because when you're in alignment with God, you're listening to him. It's not you. It's his boldness. It's his confidence. Okay, so like Coach D said, before this Zoom talk, I'm like, oh my God, a Zoom talk. I'm like nervous. Like, it could be just one person on here and I'm still nervous. But at the end of the day, this is him working through me. When I open up my heart to him, empty me of God and fill me up completely of you. We have to go to him with those bold prayers, because sometimes we pray and God don't answer our prayers. And we're like, why is he not answering our prayers? Well, wait a minute. God is like, well, daughter, did you forget who I was? Are you coming to me asking me for stuff that you can do yourself? Like, you need to come to me, you need to come boldly to my throne. You got to remember that I'm God. And you got to remember, don't be afraid. He already knows our desires, but he's just waiting for us to open up our mouths. And of course, the enemy, he allows our fears. He allows our past. He tried to place that guilt and that shame in us, tell us that we're not worthy, that this is not for us, that this person is better than us. But you have to hit him with what my God said. right? And we always have to tell the enemy flee, because when we tell him to flee, he flees, because we have the unlimited power of God when he has limited power. And that's one thing that we have to understand.
Yes, and yes, and yes.
You know, sometimes you gotta shut me down, because I'll tell you, I can go all night.
No, you go right ahead.
I can go all night. I can. Does anyone else have any comments, any takeaways, any questions? Guys, we're giving away free game here. Let me tell you, this ain't cheap. But take it while you can. I know you guys have some questions. I know some of you guys have personal brands, have Instagrams and Facebook, and you're looking to continue to go to the next level. So if you have any burning questions, Coach D is here.
Hello. I just wanted to speak real quick. I know it's mostly women in here, but I was on still jump in and listen, and I picked up on quite a few things. But I did have a question for you, Ms. Gordon, and that question was this: over the course of the past 3 years, I've taught myself how to become an audio engineer to record people's music. And also within the past year, taught myself how to not only shoot, but edit videos, and, you know, so I could become a one-stop shop for those artists that want to come record their music. So with that being said, I'm having a hard time marketing myself, getting myself out there. And, you know, I do the social media thing. You know, I get it out there the best way I can there, but I'm so terrible when it comes to social media.
Okay.
So I was wondering if maybe you had some pointers to, you know, because I don't have a website or anything like that. So, you know.
Yeah, well, this month over on Instagram, I'm doing a series for the whole month of May. We're almost to the end right now, called This is Marketing. So we've covered all kinds of marketing strategies, from Instagram marketing. Last week we had sales school where I taught those who attended how to sell. We talked about all kinds of different platforms. But when you want to build your business in the digital space, you really, really do have to get a little louder. Okay. And it does take you getting over yourself, and it does take you facing your fears. So there are going to be certain things, especially the only thing I can speak for is in the digital space, because I specialize in selling services online. You are going to need that website. Okay. Even if it's basic. All right. You're going to need something. I would suggest you have something.
Yeah, I have some stuff lined up to try to go that route, but, you know, with the minimal income that I'm bringing with this business, you know, it's kind of hard to justify the overhead of paying for, you know, the upkeep of a website. And I've never had one before, so I don't know about all that stuff. So
Yeah, and there's some free ones out there as well. I mean, check out Wix. There are some free options out there for websites as well. Okay, that you can actually get started with.
okay.
So even if you have to do something free, even if it's just like a one page or something, okay,
Gotcha.
you want to start to build trust. And I know that you said that you don't like social media. So what platform are you on? What platform are you building on?
It's not that I don't like it. I'm terrible at it. You know, putting myself out there, you know, getting the, you know, because I try to put little snippets of the work that I do on, you know, because I do have a business IG, I do have a business Facebook, you know, and then I have a Twitter. I can't tell you the last time I logged into it.
Okay. Yeah, you don't
and,
need too much. You just need to at least choose one platform to kind of focus on.
Gotcha.
So let me ask you this. Do you have any pictures of yourself on social media?
I do.
Okay. Do you have a YouTube channel?
I do. I've got
Okay.
2 of them.
Okay. So are you doing videos on YouTube?
I am.
Okay, cool. So I feel like you just need to build community somewhere. You need to give your calls to action. You know, what do you want people to do? What's the next steps that you want for people to take with you when you give out your content, when you share your content? There are a lot of things, okay, to do. So it would be kind of hard for me to just lay out kind of like a marketing plan just right now on the Zoom, because it is
I
just,
understand.
yeah, I'm not really too sure on what you're doing, what you're not doing, how you're showing up, how your social media feeds look, how your content is. Are you giving a call to action? What is that call to action? It's so many variables with marketing. So I can't really pinpoint specifically what the situation is with you without looking at your specific business.
Gotcha.
But what I would say is you can follow me over on Instagram at Coach Dallas Gordon, and I give out marketing tips all the time. I mean, I have a whole YouTube channel with nothing but marketing tips.
Gotcha.
So maybe some of that stuff can help you a little better. But do you have more specific questions that maybe I can help you with, more specific areas inside of marketing that maybe I can help you with?
No, it's just, everything's a quote unquote mess right now, and I'm trying to figure it out. I am a people person. However, I'm still a shy person, so it's kind of, it's hard for me to, just approach people, or even through social media, just put out there, hey, I need you to do this.
Okay.
Speaking to the people who do follow me,
Okay.
and it's hard for me to do that, and I have another friend of mine. He's working on building his YouTube page, and he's told me, he was like, bro, you just gotta tell people what you want them to do.
Yeah.
And it, and I'm learning. I'm trying to learn how to do that, but it's just really difficult for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's as simple as this. If you do a video and you're sharing a tip, okay, for how to accomplish a certain thing, you're literally just going to say, and I'm not sure like what your calls to actions are, but you're literally going to say, hi, my name is this. This is what I do. This is how I can help you. Okay. So if you are looking to do those things, underneath this video is a link to book a call with me, or to do this or to do that. Go ahead and click that link so that we can talk about it. You're simply giving an invitation to someone to work with you. So I've done whole trainings on sales, okay? And I just think that you need a slight change of perspective about the selling and about the asking and about the inviting, okay? So you have some God-given gifts, because you just explained to me what your God-given gifts were,
Right.
and how you're helping people. And I just want you to picture that one person out there in the world, okay, right, who's stuck. And they have a dream to make this music, but they cannot bring it together, and they don't know who to go to, and they don't know who will understand them, and they don't know who will be able to translate, okay, this talent that they have the way it needs to be translated to the world. And they don't even know that you exist, because you are not speaking out enough. You are not asking, you are not inviting, you are not making the call.
Right.
If they had known that you existed, and maybe there are 10 to 20 more people just like them who had known you had existed, you would probably be 10 times richer by now. So it's a matter of how bad do you want it? And it's a matter of getting over yourself. And let me tell you something. I had a stranger one time to come to me right around the time I had hired a coach, back when I was first starting my coaching business. I had a stranger who came to me, and to backtrack a little bit, my coach at the time was my very first coach that I hired, okay? And he was telling me, listen, I want tomorrow, you have until tomorrow to go live and do a live video. And I was very offended by him wanting me to do this, because I was like, I'm a very private person. This is what I told him. I don't do video. This is what I told him. And ironically, that night I got an inbox from someone on Facebook. I didn't even know this man. And he came in and said, you seem like a really powerful person, and I like your post. He said, can I ask you a question? And I said, what? And he said, why aren't you on video? Why don't I ever see you live? You know, that's one of the most powerful ways to drive traffic, to what you do. And I said, well, I'm a private person. And he said, you know, one thing that's helped me. And I said, what is it? This stranger tells me that nobody cares. And I was so offended by him. But when I thought about it, it is so true. You only get this one shot at life to go after what you want. And at the end of the day, nobody gives a darn about whether or not you show your face or not. Listen, I stutter all day long. I go out to say certain things to my audiences and clients and followers, and sometimes a whole nother word comes out. I just told y'all that there was 36 weeks in a year. I just told 38 people, okay, on a Zoom session that there were 36 weeks in a year. Now that's some sad stuff, okay? But I'm going to tell you right now, after tonight, no one is going to remember that, and no one is going to care. They're going to take the gems of what was shared here. They're going to apply it to their life, and they're going to run with it. And they are not going to remember that girl who said that it was 36 weeks in a year. They're not going to remember that part.
I didn't remember until you just brought it up.
Exactly. You didn't forgot already. I'm going to tell you now, you're not even going to remember what I look like in the morning. Okay? Like, you're going to need to see me some more times before you even remember what this girl even looks like. Unless you screenshot me, you're not going to remember it.
Right.
So I know I'm making a joke, okay? But you simply need to make more noise. What do you have to lose? You only get one shot to go for it. People need to see you in order to trust you. People need to hear you in order to trust you. You've got to give an invitation, and you've got to ask, and the door will be open to you if you open your mouth and you ask. Okay? And I shared earlier today, the difference between your talent and what you got going on and somebody else who does the same stuff, who is only half as good as you, but they're getting all the clients, is the fact that they're bold enough to go for the ask. Yeah. They're bold enough to go for the ask, so they're booking way more clients than you right now, and they're taking your money. So right. You have the opportunity to change that. And just like I told Natasha, just like I said to her, what you need to do is take it one step at a time. Make a list of 5 powerful things that you can do to change your business, and at least try to do one a week.
Gotcha.
So let's just say you're nervous about a certain thing that you know you need to do. Okay, let's start fresh next week. You're going to say, you know what? Next week, I'm going to get this thing done. And I don't care how difficult it makes me, or how bad it makes me feel. I'm going to go for it. And I'm going to tell you, once you stand on the other side of fear, false evidence appearing real, by the way, okay? You're going to look back on that fear and say, golly, I can't even see you now. You're so small to me now. You never even existed. So I know you can do it. I just think you're hiding behind the camera a little bit, you know, and I get it. I'm very, what the world might consider introverted. That's what the world might consider me. However, I still show up. I still do what I need to do. I still feel the fear. But what motivates you? You can either stay in a place of not having enough means to be able to run a website and have tools for your business, and, you know, wondering, how am I going to do this and how am I going to do that? You can stay there. Or you can make enough money to have 50,000 websites. You know what I mean? It's up to you. If money is what motivates you, great. Okay? Gotcha. The only person standing in your way is you. So all you got to do is move yourself out of the way.
Well, I really appreciate you taking a minute to answer my question. And speaking on, I heard you mention it earlier about your why. It's funny you say that, because I have a friend of mine used to play in the WNBA, and we were texting earlier today, and she was talking to me about the whole, what's your why? You know, so all morning I've been thinking about that and trying to figure out, okay, what's not the money part, you know, right, something that motivates you before the money. Mm-hmm. She told me money is a byproduct of your why, you know, and I was like, oh, okay, that's a nice way to look at it, you know.
One thing you
And
can ask yourself, sorry to cut you off. One thing that you can ask yourself is, let's just say somebody showed up at your door tomorrow with $1 million. What is it that you would still feel like it's still necessary to do? That's your purpose. So if you had $1 million, would you throw all that equipment right there away and just say, I don't need it now, I'm good? No, you still be over there creating, wouldn't you?
I buy more.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? And I've had to ask myself that question. If somebody came to my door today and gave me multi-millions, would I stop talking to people and motivating people and teaching people and educating people? I would continue to speak even more. Matter of fact, I'd have more time to speak. That money would make more time for me, basically.
Right.
So something to think about.
Well, again, I want to say I appreciate you, you know, and I appreciate you taking out the time to talk, not just talk to me, but talk to everybody that's on here tonight.
Sure. Thank you for listening. Thank you for having me.
That was great. That was so great. Thank you all who asked questions and gave your comments. So we have something that we're going to give away. So, Coach D, can you tell us what we're giving away tonight?
Yes. So we're giving away some journals tonight. Did you say it was 2 journals? Because I won't get it wrong.
2 journals.
That's awesome. Yes.
So I'm a firm believer in supporting others in every way possible. And, you know, sometimes people don't realize that, especially if we're talking about business, supporting someone doesn't mean that you have to buy from them, right? Supporting others means if you are on social media, liking their posts, sharing their posts on your stories, on your profile, sharing what they're selling, what services that they're offering for someone who you think could use it. Maybe you can't use the product or service, but maybe you know somebody that can. So support goes in many different ways. So each week, last week we gave away a book and a t-shirt. So each week I'm pouring into whoever the guest speaker is, I'm pouring into their business by offering you guys a giveaway. So let's continue to support. Okay, so I have everyone's name here, and I'm going to pick 2 lucky winners. Hopefully everyone is still on. Okay, closing my eyes. By the way, I think I put my name in here 2 times. Okay, the first winner is Jacinta. Is Jacinta still on the call? Did you have to be on the call to win? Jacinta, are you on the call? Let's see. Oh, I think she's not on the call, so let's keep it going. Let's see. Okay. The next lucky winner. Oh, it's my mom, Phyllis. Miss Fox, Big Fox, are you still on the call?
Yes.
Okay, so she's our first winner. We're gonna get that mailed out to you, Mom.
You better bring it to me. Don't mail it.
You bossy. Okay, the next winner. Let's see who we have here. I promise you guys, that's not favorite. Yes, she my mom, but I promise you that wasn't planned in advance. I should have had my son pick a name. Oh, the next winner is Vivian. Vivian, are you still on the call?
I
Woohoo! So, 2 lucky winners is Miss Phyllis and Miss Vivian.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ladies. So, ladies, we're about to end shortly. Coach Steve, final thoughts for our listeners.
Well, I just want to say I appreciate each and every one of you for staying to the end. Congrats to the winners. Thank you so much, Marcia, for having me on, beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And just don't forget that anything that you put your hands to shall prosper if you believe, y'all. Okay? Keep going, just keep pushing. All right, keep showing up. You know, tackle your things to do list, just that one thing at a time, okay, and get it done. And I promise you, over a very short time, you'll get so much done. Show yourself some kindness, show yourself some grace. Don't be too hard on yourself, okay? And you're gonna get there. Keep loving yourself, keep going, keep taking actions to make yourself slightly uncomfortable, and you're gonna grow. So I love all of you. I appreciate each and every one of you. And thank you for having me.
Thank you. We truly appreciate you for taking the time on this Thursday to be with us. We thank you for your yes. And thank you for continuing to show up every day, regardless of how you feel, what's telling you to not show up. We just thank you because we know that God has mighty plans for you because he placed something inside you and you're living on purpose and you living out loud. I just can't wait to see how he continues to elevate you higher and higher. And the one thing that I love about you is it's this saying that when you climb, you should lift. Climb, lift, climb, lift, climb, lift. Mm-hmm. And I'm just so thankful that you are one of those individuals because there's so many people out there who keep climbing and push down, climbing and pushing down, climbing and pushing down. And they don't pour back into other people. So I just thank you for that and your transparency. You're so real and I just love it. I just love it.
Thank you so much.
Guys, every week I leave you guys with a scripture to meditate on for the week. And it usually somehow relates to the topic. Tonight's scripture is one of Coach D's go-to scriptures, and it's Matthew 6:33. Seek the kingdom of God above all else and live righteously, and he will give you everything you need. Let me say that one more time. He will give you everything you need. Matthew 6:33. So just take some time to really meditate and just really dig deep. Go back to that chapter and just read the whole chapter to get a full understanding of what God is trying to say in that chapter. Also, before I end with the prayer, I want to ask Tammy Howard to come on. I want her to be able to tell you guys about an exciting event that her church has going on. Tammy, are you still on? Let's see. Tammy? I think we might have lost her. So, Tammy, I just share a little bit about it and I'll include it in the email. If you're not on our email list, please join as I send weekly updates about the upcoming talk, any special announcements. But her church is doing, it's called Press to Pentecost. Each morning at 7 a.m. They do a Zoom talk, you can either call in like this, call in from your phone. And it has been really powerful. I think I've been doing it since last Friday, and it definitely has been amazing. Pastor Hood is amazing. So if you're up at that time, or if you want to go ahead and set your alarm clock right now for 6:50 so you can wake up and be up by 7 to tune into the Zoom talk, I promise you, it is definitely uplifting. It will be uplifting to your spirit. Okay, here, she put it in. Okay, here. She was on mute. Let me see. She put it in a comment. So let me go ahead and add it here. So if anyone is interested, they could be able to tune in. It's every morning at 7. Okay, again, we're here each week, every Thursday at 8:30. So remember, come back next week, bring your mother, bring your aunt, bring your cousin, bring your friend, just bring everybody. Invite at least 3 people. And so I always like to end in prayer. So if you guys can just join me by bowing your heads and then opening your hearts. Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight, oh God. Oh God, we come boldly to your throne, oh God, with grateful hearts, God. Oh God, we just thank you for this time that we have together. God, thank you for giving us this time to be able to come together and learn from Coach D. God, we just thank you for all the listeners on the call. God, I just come to you tonight just to lift them up to you, God. Only you know their needs. Only you know their heart desires, God. I just lift them up to you, God. May you continue to fill them with your everlasting love and your everlasting hope, God. Teach them to lean on you, God, to lean on your understanding and not their own. May they continue to find strength in you and only you, God. May you continue to let them know that they're not meant to do this walk alone, that you are the resource, that anytime that they're in need, that all they have to do is call on your name, God, that you would give them the strength that they need, that you have already equipped them for the journey, that they have everything that they need, that anytime that they're feeling lost, anytime that they're feeling discouraged, anytime they're feeling disgruntled, that all they have to do is lean on you and call on your name, God. Oh God, tonight I come against any attack that the enemy may have on anyone on this call. God, I come against any attack against their families, oh God, any attack against their businesses, oh God, but most importantly, any attack against the purpose that you have for them. God, I ask that you speak to their hearts, oh God. Let them know that you created them for a purpose, on a purpose, that each one of them have a special gift that you place inside of them, God. And if they haven't said yes, that you're just waiting for their yes, that the path has already been made straight, God, that everything that they went through, it serves a purpose, that everything that they seen, it serves a purpose, that they don't have to be afraid, because even though they may feel like they're walking alone, God, that you're right there with them holding their hand, that the first thing that they need to do is say yes, God, and the first thing they need to do is say yes, God, and that you would take them along the way. All they have to do is make up in their mind that they're ready, God, that they're ready to fulfill the purpose that you have on their life. And then make that first step and you will carry them on the way, God. As we know that this journey won't be easy, but we know that you are a faithful God. We know that you're an intentional God. We know that you will clear our path, God. May you continue to make our crooked path straight, God, that no matter when we get lost, that we can look up to you. No matter how dark it gets, that we can see the small light, oh God. Oh God, I just pray tonight for all individuals on this call. I pray over their lives. I pray over their health. I pray over their businesses. I pray over their families, God. We know that you are strong and you are mighty, God. Continue to remind us of who you are, that you're the same God back right now that you were back then, that you're still a way maker, a promise keeper, and a miracle worker, and the light in our darkness, God, that we don't have to fear anything, God. Remind us that we shouldn't compare ourselves to anyone, God, that our journey is our journey and their journey is their journey, that everything that you have for us will come in the right time. And let us to be able to lean on your understanding and not our own, God. Search us and change anything that's not like you, God. Empty us of us and fill us up completely of you, God. Oh God, I come to you tonight, oh God. I come to you to stand in agreement with everybody on this call, God, that we know that we have the unlimited power of you, that we have the boldness and confidence of you, that this is not about us, God, but this is about you, God, that everything that happens to us, that everything that we're going to face, everything that we do is for your glory, God. And there are people that are waiting for us to show up, God. Give us a mindset to believe in the unbelievable, to believe in the unthinkable. Remind us that we are your children, that we are your daughters and we are your sons, that means that we are unstoppable, that we are undeniable, and that we are unbreakable, that we are free, because who the Son sets free is truly free indeed, that we are free from shame, that we are free from guilt, that we are free from condemnation, God, that we can continue to move forward and be happy, God. Let us not focus on the negative, but the positive. Let us be grateful for everything in our life, no matter how bad it seems, God, there is purpose in everything that happens in our life. God, we just lean on you. We lean on your word. We believe in you. We believe in your son, Jesus Christ, God. I just want to continue to lift these women up. I just want to continue to lift this Zoom talk up, God. I just want to thank you for coming every week and showing up and showing out for us, God. Continue to use us, God. We just thank you for today, God. We thank you for tomorrow, God. In the name of Jesus, God, we ask, we seek, we pray, we believe. Amen. Amen. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, fellas, for everyone tuning in tonight. I truly appreciate you all. I hope to see you back next week. Remember that God loves you, and so do I. Bye.
Nice.
Good night. Good night. Thank you.
Bye.